Adam, what can you tell us about the Raiders' newest player?
He's a raw athlete with a lot of upside, and the question will be, where and when does he hit his ceiling? He's still relatively new to football, as he was a track and field runner for the school his first 3 years of eligibility. He definitely has the body to play any of the skill positions in football, and he may ultimately end up playing a different position than what he's drafted as. I'm sure the coaches will love the athleticism he brings, but first they'll probably try him out at a few different areas before finding his best role.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. Now that Woodley's off the board, Adam, what do you have on him?
Most offensive linemen need a year or two to get bigger and more polished before you start seeing them play at a higher level. In this case, however, he has a chance to make an impact on the offensive line from day one. At the Combine this year, he looked like one of the stronger linemen, and he also showed great footwork and technique, which is usually something players his size tend to lack. He's the type of lineman that can provide an immediate upgrade to this team's pass and run blocking, and they're lucky to have picked him up before anyone else could.
The Colts are now on the clock. Okay, so the Colts pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Cooper.
He was an offensive lineman that didn't get a lot of attention in the draft process until after the All-Star game. He was matched up against one of the top defensive linemen in the draft this year, and he straight up stonewalled him. They were calling blitz and showing heavy fronts all game, but he had him blocked step for step the whole game. It was the kind of performance that can send a lineman's draft stock skyrocketing, and it looks to have earned him a spot on the team. We'll see if he can be the blocker the team expects him to be after shutting down one of the better defensive linemen in this class.
The Giants are now on the clock. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
The importance of a lockdown pass defender cannot be emphasized enough, and that's exactly what every GM I talked to described him as. His ability to play physical and to outwork his opposition off the line have also been areas of high praise on his journey to the draft. This skill set could be seen in numerous games this year where he completely shut down some of this draft's top-rated wide receivers. When you're tasked with neutralizing an opponent's number one wideout each week, there's a great deal of responsibility to ensure you're not just physically ready, but also mentally ready. This is another important trait the GMs I spoke with mentioned to me that made them so excited about this guy. The hope is that he will quickly learn the playbook, get some solid reps in the preseason, and come week one, be ready to play.
The Bills are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, he caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
The Bills are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
If you read Matt Miller's weekly draft stock report, you've seen this kid's name mentioned almost every week. He started the season relatively quiet, but each game he showed more and more of what scouts love to see. No doubt about it, this kid plays with heart and he plays tough. Watching him on the field, you can clearly see him go 100% and never waver. And on the sidelines, he looks like a natural leader, firing up his teammates or keeping them composed when necessary. I can see why scouts like Matt Miller have fallen in love with him. The coach and players have to be excited to have him on the team now.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. Now that he's off the board, Adam, tell us more about Mosley.
He was a dominant receiver in college and deservedly won the Heisman after a very impressive season. He's the kind of receiver that defenses would double team, and yet they still couldn't slow him down. He's not the big man on campus anymore now that he's been drafted, but I still feel comfortable in saying